Welcome back, guys. I'm looking to reach 1,000 subs. Support me by clicking the subscribe button.
She came back to Rome to finish what she started. And now the whole world is watching Eala. Picture this. You are sitting in a stadium in Rome, Italy. The clay is red, the sun is blazing, and the scoreboard is showing something that would make most people quietly gather their belongings and disappear into the crowd. 6-0. Not one game won. A bagel. A complete and total shutout in the first set of a WTA 1000 tournament. The player on the wrong end of that scoreline, a 20-year-old girl from Quezon City who had barely been a professional for a year. The reasonable thing to do at that point, the conventional tennis fan thing to do, would be to accept the reality, feel a little bad, and move on. But that is not what happened on Court 6 at the Foro Italico on May 7, 2025. What happened instead was something that the mainstream tennis press didn't quite know how to classify. The crowd got louder. The Philippine flags went higher. The singing started, not because the match was turning around, not because some miraculous comeback was brewing, but because the people in those stands had made a decision that had nothing to do with the scoreboard. They were not watching a tennis match anymore. They were making a declaration. They were telling the world, and telling her, that they were not going anywhere. And here we are now, in May of 2026, and Eala has returned to Rome. She is ranked number 42 in the world. She is a career high of number 29. She has Tony Nadal, the man who architected 10 Italian Open titles for Rafael Nadal, sitting in her coaching box. She skipped an easier tournament in Spain where she was a number 3 seed. Skipped it, to arrive in Rome a full week early and start working on that red clay before the draw was even announced. So today, we are going to tell you everything. The bagel, the comeback, the rankings, the coaching bombshell, the Filipino community that turned a Roman tennis stadium into something that felt like a national championship, and the enormous question that hangs over the next 2 weeks at the Foro Italico. Can Eala do what nobody expected her to do, and transform herself into a clay court threat before Roland Garros? Let's get into it. First, let us properly understand who Eala is, because if you are coming to this story fresh, you need to know just how extraordinary the trajectory has been. Alexandra Maniego Eala was born on May 23, 2005, in the Philippines. She grew up in Quezon City, spent her formative years training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain, and by the time the tennis world blinked, she had become the highest-ranked Filipino woman in the entire history of the WTA Tour. That career high of number 29, achieved on March 16, 2026, is not just a personal milestone. It is a national one. No Filipino woman had ever been there before. Ever. And it did not come gradually. It came in a rush that shocked the sport. Go back to early 2025. Eala is ranked number 140 in the world and enters the Miami Open as a wild card, which is basically the sport's way of saying, we are doing you a favor by letting you in here. What she proceeds to do in Miami becomes one of the most talked about runs in recent WTA history. She beats Yelena Ostapenko, who was ranked 130 places above her. She beats Madison Keys, the 5th seed. She beats Iga Swiatek, the 2nd seed in the world. 3 major champions in straight sets. As a wildcard, at a WTA 1000 event. No wildcard had ever done that before. She reaches the semifinal, the first Filipino ever to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal, and loses to Jessica Pegula. She enters the top 100 for the first time. By the end of 2025, her year-end ranking is number 50, a career high at the time. She has won her first WTA title at Guadalajara. She has beaten Swiatek. She has the attention of the entire sport. Then 2026 begins, and Eala does not slow down. She makes the semifinals at Auckland. She reaches the 4th round at Indian Wells. She makes the 4th round at Miami. In late February, she dismantles Jasmine Paolini, one of the best clay court players in the world, 6-1, 7-6 in Dubai. By March 16th, she has reached that career high of number 29, the first Filipino woman ever in the history of the tour, the highest she has ever climbed. And then the clay season arrives, and things get complicated. Here's where we have to be completely honest, because the tabloid version of this story would be to ignore the difficult part. And that is not what we are doing here. The difficult part is the clay record. In 2026, Eala's results on clay before Rome looked like this. A win over Julia Grabher in Linz, ranked 89 in the world. 6-4, 6-3, composed and controlled. Then a loss to Yelena Ostapenko in round 2 of Linz. Then a first-round loss to Leila Fernandez in Stuttgart. Then a second-round loss to Elise Mertens in Madrid, 2-6, 1-6. That is a 2-3 record on clay. But the numbers inside those losses are the part that demands attention. In her 3 clay losses against elite players in 2026, the first set scores were 1-6, 2-6, and a flat-out bagel 0-6. Against the best clay specialists on tour, she has not yet found the answer.
Welcome back, guys. I'm looking to reach 1,000 subs. Support me by clicking the subscribe button.